This is
Collision theory.
There are three fundamentals to collision theory. The first, the particles must collide. The second, the particles must have sufficient energy. And the third, the particles must have proper orientation. Look at what happens when particles don't collide. If these fish bumped into each other, a reaction would definitely occur. They would get in an argument or something, I assume. I don't know if fish actually argue or get angry. But if they did, they would react if they collided, but they're not colliding, so there's no reaction. There's a little more to the next two fundamentals. For the first one, sufficient energy, there has to be enough energy, as much or more than the activation energy of the reaction, for the collision to be successful. Imagine activation energy as the high point of a roller coaster. You have to go up it for then to go down and have all the fun. So for a particle to be able to collide sufficiently with all of the energy, there would need to be enough energy to get over to the top of the bump and be able to come back down. The last rule is proper orientation. If these particles aren't properly oriented, they won't react. Think of these opposite colors as proper orientation. If the bottom right orange person was in the bottom left orange square, you wouldn't be able to see them. What would be the point of these fun colors if we couldn't see anyone? So that covers our rules. Now on to the ways to manipulate them. There's not much that can be done in terms of proper orientation for the tiny particles because we can't move them, but we can definitely change the energy in the reaction to make it more probable. The best way to do that is to change the temperature. If you change the temperature of a reaction, you can change the amount of energy in it because temperature is a measure of the kinetic energy of particles. So, if you raise the temperature, you get more energy and more chance of sufficient energy collisions, so more chance of the reaction, or a faster reaction. If you had less temperature, a smaller temperature, a lower temperature, you would have less energy and therefore less successful collisions and a reaction that wouldn't work as well or wouldn't work as fast. Another way to manipulate collisions would be to change the concentration of the reactants. To demonstrate, my brother and I did a Coke and Mentos experiment. This is with 1 Mento, or a small amount of reactants, a small concentration of reactants. It went relatively high. And this is with 3 Mentos.
Wow.
For reference, my brother is 4'11". That went pretty high. By using 3 Mentos instead of 1 and raising the concentration of the reactants, we managed to get a larger reaction because there was more successful collisions, because there were more particles to collide.
Yeah, I would say that went considerably higher.
Whoa, that was so cool. Wow. That's pretty much it for collision theory. Just remember, the two particles must collide, they must be properly oriented, and they must have sufficient energy for a successful collision. If they don't, nothing happens. That's all for today. Now go out there, chemists, and collide successfully with your grades. Do your assignments, collide with them. Put in enough effort and energy into your assignments and turn them in on time properly. Thanks for watching!